Two things define you: your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. Never explain yourself. Your friends don't need it, and your enemies won't believe it. Half of disbelief in God is caused by people who make religion look ugly due to their bad conduct and ignorance. Don't use the sharpness of your tongue on the mother who taught you how to speak. Be humble as you are made of earth. Be noble as you are made of stars. The moment you start arguing with an ignorant fool, you have already lost. When proven wrong, the wise man will correct himself, and the ignorant will keep arguing. Those who are silent when others are oppressed are guilty of oppression themselves. Do not let your difficulties fill you with anxiety. After all, it is only in the darkest nights that the stars shine brilliantly. The biggest mistake one can make is losing oneself in the process of valuing someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. The best form of devotion to the service of God is not to make a show of it. Pride is a barrier to all virtue, and humility is the door to all virtue. We may learn by seeing, but we truly only understand by doing. Never make a decision in anger, and never make a promise in happiness. The one who has the most satisfactory life is the one who finds improvement when he is praised, and sees his shortcomings when he is criticized. He who discloses his hardship will always be humiliated. Live amongst people in such a manner that if you die, they weep over you, and if you are alive, they crave your company. Anger begins with madness and ends in regret. The nourishment of the body is food, while the nourishment of the soul is feeding others. The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like the one who wronged you. Hide the good you do, and make known the good done to you. If you want to test a man's character, give him power. The disease of the heart is worse than the disease of the body. The greatest wealth is wisdom. The greatest poverty is ignorance. Don't speak if what you're going to say is not more beautiful than silence. It is easier to turn a mountain into dust than to create love in a heart that is filled with hatred. When the world pushes you to your knees, you are in the perfect position to pray. Death with dignity is better than life with humiliation. Do not force religion. Show its beauty through action. People are of three types: scholars, students, and the ignorant. Scholars should propagate knowledge, students should learn it, and the ignorant should humbly admit their ignorance. A lion who breaks the enemy's ranks is a minor hero compared to the lion who overcomes himself. You must be humble, as it is one of the greatest forms of worship. The mind is a treasure. Its key is questioning. Backbiting is the attempt of one who is incapable of doing better himself. You are the master of what you say until you utter it, then you are its captive. Being loved gives you courage. Loving someone gives you strength. Your thoughts shape your vision. You see what you choose to see. Attachment is not measured by how long you enjoy someone's company or how much you want them, but how well you function without them. Two kinds of greedy people never get satisfied: the seeker of knowledge and the seeker of material wealth. Truth has a bitter taste. Blessed is he whose own faults keep him from seeing the faults of others. The pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. If you succeed in misleading somebody, do not think of him as being a big fool. Rather think about how he trusted you. Do not raise your children as your parents raised you. They were born for a different time. Do not speak about your money in front of a poor person. Do not speak about your health in front of a sick person. Do not speak about your power in front of a weak person. Do not speak about your happiness in front of a sad person. The moment you start acting like life is a blessing, it starts feeling like one. The drops of rain make a hole in the stone, not by violence, but by persistence. A brother is like gold, and a friend is like diamond. If gold cracks, you can melt it and make it just like it was before. If a diamond cracks, it can never be like it was before. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. A wise man learns more from his enemies than a fool from his friends. Don't see others doing better than you. Beat your own records every day, because success is a fight between you and yourself. Goodness towards parents is the closure of the doors of hell, and goodness towards your children is the opening of the doors of paradise. The worst of our faults is our interest in other people's faults. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. The best revenge is to improve yourself. Analyze your mistakes. You've already paid the tuition, you might as well get the lesson. Life is made of moments. If you miss the moment, you miss life. He who angers you conquers you. You alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Don't talk about your blessings too much, for there are those who hope they never last. The one who gossips to you will gossip about you. The eyes do not dry from crying. They dry only when the heart becomes stone. Knowledge is better than wealth. Knowledge guards you while you have to guard wealth. Your remedy is within you, but you do not sense it. Your sickness is from you, but you do not perceive it. A wise man first thinks and then speaks, and a fool speaks first and then thinks. The richest of the rich is the one who is not a prisoner to greed. Be like the flower that gives fragrance even to the hand that crushes it. Do not feel ashamed if the amount of charity is small, because to refuse the needy is an act of greater shame. Anger is like a ball of fire, but if you swallow it, it's sweeter than honey. The best deed of a great man is to forgive and forget. To disappoint the expectations of others is easier and more bearable than to disappoint God. Forgiveness is the best revenge. Life consists of 2 days, one for you and one against you. So when it's for you, don't be proud or reckless. And when it's against you, be patient, for both days are meant to test you. Do not be a slave to others when God has created you free. The best act of worship is to be happy and to make others happy. See the bad inside yourself and see the good in others. Do not sell your conscience for anything but heaven. He who does not understand your silence will not understand your words. You get treated in life the way you teach people to treat you. Forgive those who wrong you, join those who cut you off, do good to people who do evil to you, and speak the truth, although it may be against yourself. The most merciful person is the one who forgives when he is able to take revenge. Regret is the key to self-awareness, but you cannot dwell in regret forever. A wise man takes advice from many people. It's better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. Man is recognized by his manners, not his family or lineage. Opportunities are swift of flight but slow to return. Knowledge is a shield, truthfulness is might. ignorance is abasement, understanding is glory, generosity is success. The tongue is a beast. If you let it loose, it will wound you. Patience is of two kinds: patience over what pains you, and patience against what you covet. To fight against one's desires is the greatest of all fights. Silence is the garden for contemplation, a source of vision. People are of two types. They are either your brothers in faith or your equals in humanity. The eyes do not see a flaw if the heart loves a heart. Our only enemy is our own ignorance. The beginning of pride and ego is to think of oneself as the victim. The biggest sin is that which the perpetrator takes lightly. A friend cannot be considered a friend until he is tested on 3 occasions: in time of need, behind your back, and after your death. People's deeds are judged by their intentions. A man's worth depends upon the nobility of his aspirations. If you find that someone is not grateful for all that you have done for them, then do not be disappointed. Your good deeds will always be compensated, and God will reward you for your goodness. Contentment is the capital which will never diminish. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. The wound caused by a sword heals, but the wound caused by the tongue never heals. The worst enemy is your own self. Worry about your character and not your reputation, because your character is who you are, and your reputation is only what people think of you. The words of a wise man are silent. They are heard through his actions. The best life is a life based on knowledge. Success is reached when you discipline your mind beyond your distractions. Your worst enemy is hiding within yourself, and that enemy is your false ego. Work for a better life as if you live forever, and work for a better afterlife as if you die tomorrow. Do not be too hard, lest you be broken. Do not be too soft, lest you be squeezed. Be careful. Do not let others do to you what you wouldn't do to them. Overlooking the faults of others is a higher degree of charity. Justice is better than courage, because if everyone were just, no one would be in need of courage. Sometimes you find yourself in the middle of nowhere, but sometimes, in the middle of nowhere, you find yourself. Jealousy devours good deeds, like fire devours firewood. Asking good questions is half of learning. Be good to others, that will protect you against evil. Generosity hides your mistakes, just like the moon fading away before the sun. A fool's mind is at the mercy of his tongue, and a wise man's tongue is under the control of his mind. Learn the Arabic language. It will sharpen your wisdom. Hope is the instrument to keep you engaged in good deeds. One who does not realize his own value is condemned to utter failure. He who understands humanity seeks solitude. The strongest people are not always the people who win, but the people who don't give up when they lose. He who trusts this finite world is betrayed by it.